Right, so this piece is called To the Children Who Come Next, my nephews and nieces, by Imani and Davion. My beloveds, I write to you from a place both far and near. I've watched you grow in the heartland while living in cities from coast to coast and contending with the great in-betweens of living here and there while black, coming from where we're from. Despite my reticence, your beauty is a constant reminder of the importance of family, the endurance of hope, and the necessity of love labor I have professed and hope to accomplish throughout my lifetime. Home is a dangerous place. Home is often where the hatred is. I trust that you have not learned this yet by your mother and father, my siblings, because they know the price of such a blood-stained gift. We learned early on the practice of self-hate, gleaned from ill-informed lessons of survival, strength, and fluidity. To be clear, we were never hated by anyone within our family. People lived and died for our chances to be here. However, sometimes that be and that sacrifice have unintended consequences. You see, working back-breaking hours to care for a child, a grandchild, cousin, or even younger siblings has a cost. What one sees as love, say providing meals and stability, may be experienced as pain or even hate if it is accompanied with a scowl and has insufficient energy or faculty to profess and articulate such a loving kindness. Children, do not trouble your spirits if your mother or father fails to reflexively smile when they look upon your face. The struggle of being a working black mother or father forces one to ration what outward joy he or she has left. Survival jujitsu is an expensive practice that takes more than it gives. You see, your mother wakens in the morning to see that you have joy throughout the day. Your father's heart smiles when he hears your name and reminds him that life has meaning, has power, and that hope is not something stolen so easily. When they go into the world before you, making room for you, their smiles and laughter are often stolen by people and their toxic ways of living that will never see you or anyone else as human. Their psychosis is not your concern, child. You see, some folks consume blackness as elixir for the inadequacies and anxieties of their broken spirits. Your parents go forth and clear the way so that you might not have to encounter such parasitic peoples. You are loved. You are a source of joy. You are the hope of our family circle, and none of us will have your soul disrupted by the ill and ill-intention. But you mustn't blame my siblings, your parents, for they are engaged in a battle for your continued freedom, for your liberation. When their lips do not pause, or when their voices are raised, know that their spirit powers their body daily from the wells of their love and hopes for you. You are young, darlings, but I want you to know this. Love is not simply about how much of your body you are willing, able, or compelled to destroy and trade for wealth accumulation in the name of stability. To be sure, baby, these are hardy sacrifices. But love is much more expensive. Though it may often include the example given above, it is a practice. Love is an investment unreliant upon personal enrichment. It is not capitalistic. It is not an investment. It is an investment in individual, mutual, interconnected humanity. It is the mutual, individual, and co-investment in the lover and beloved's individual, collective, and communal growth. This love encompasses the emotional, intellectual, spiritual, economic, and cosmic realms. It is a recognition of the interconnected nature of our humanity and the permission to simply be you, always. It is a promise and commitment to be free, or to free you from the cost of one's insecurities and the societal and state-mandated consequences of freedom. This is love. We all know this, yet we are afraid to speak its name and midwife its existences, beloved. Because to speak of love, to speak of it is a sole reminder of its absence, and too often to practice it is to risk the pain of its revocation. Better then, some my elders say, to leave love and good enough alone. But honey, children born free cannot accept such folly. You simply cannot afford this. Learn love for yourself. Walk into love. Read and share your truth as much as possible. Then you will become familiar with yourself, comfortable with vulnerability, and free to be who you are wherever you are. Always, always, always tell yourself the truth, even when you don't want to hear it. Despite its mosquito-like persona, the truth does nothing but heal and recenter our values, no matter how jarring its entry. In your minds, kids, perhaps even your hearts, or I imagine that remain a small part of your imagination. That uncle often spoken of but rarely seen, apart from a random, unannounced, hours-long visit from some foreign place you've never heard of. You are right. I've long been worlds away, but my mind, heart, and spirit have never left you. Please know that I've been with you from the moment your parents, my siblings, first opined about your possible existences. I was here, making way, calming nerves, sending love, and hoping to be an uncle that was more useful than violent. More loving than mysterious, and more consistent than domineering. I could not bear to be near you in my own illness. That of imputed anxieties, identities, and problematic practices were alive and highly contagious. I had to demonstrate to myself that I was indeed myself. This is no small feat, and it is an ongoing practice. I have had to, and I continue to learn things about myself that must be unlearned. Each day I realize that there are some pieces of me that remain circumcised, forged from my soul at the threshing floor of social cues, that has yet to be remembered and recollected. To become whole again, to become free, requires an unbecoming of all the badges and incidences of the processes of becoming black, of becoming gendered, of becoming class, of becoming first in line of inheritance and cis-heteropatriarchy, sexism, misogyny, ableism, nativism, racial ideology, and capitalist orientations. I am still learning how to love people, to love me, to be both queer and liminal and whole. You see, I cannot fathom being a parasite that feeds on the humanity of others, in the production of the dehumanized, in order to simply feel secure and free myself. Race, gender, sexuality, class, sex, nationhood. None of these things are real. They are tacit agreements meant to keep the American daydream intact, while obscuring the reality, the lived effects of the American nightmare. That we hew to because it offers all of us something unique, distinct, and perhaps some situational privilege in comparison to the next categorized body. That's it. Thank you.